What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. It's Alex and Marko, the Vagabrothers. It's been a little while since you've seen our faces, and we wanted to address the fact that we have not been posting as much lately and let you know why.
So there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, both in the business and our personal lives, both good, both bad, and we wanted to give you an update and also let you know about some exciting things that are happening very, very soon.
So without further ado, this is why we haven't been posting lately.
So as most of you know, we spent the bulk of the summer filming our new TV show, Budget vs. Baller, which is going to premiere on YouTube TV on the Tastemade channel this fall.
It was pretty intense. It was 45 days on the road of production, non-stop. We did episodes in North America, in Europe, and in Asia, and we learned quite a lot, both about ourselves, about television, about production, and about life in general.
It was definitely very different than filming for YouTube. I mean, we have done stretches where we filmed for 2 weeks to a month. Back in the day, we did 6 months straight when we first got started. We won the Blvd contest, but this is really the most
biggest, baddest bucket list.
Yeah, not BVB, different.
Confusing.
But this is definitely the biggest stretch of travel, 6 weeks straight, that we've done in a very long time. And also, it happened right in the middle of summer, which is usually when we're trying to publish as much content as we can for you guys.
So for that, we sincerely apologize. We wanted to try to deliver more content to you over this summer, but life happens, and the situation we found ourselves in was one where we could not produce as much content as we wanted to publish over the summer, but good things are coming.
I think that TV is different than YouTube in many ways. On one side, you're doing less. We were just only focusing on hosting. However, it's also very taxing. It's very tiring. You're traveling around a lot. You have multiple cameras on you at once. You need to start, stop, move, change locations all the time.
Call times, early call times, late wrap times. I think what we should just clarify, when Mark says all we have to do is host, when we make YouTube videos for you, when we go out and shoot series, we're not only being in front of the camera, we're oftentimes, almost always, operating the cameras. We are getting the shots. We are talking with businesses to allow us to film there. We're getting from A to B. So we're essentially doing the jobs of many people. And when we hosted the show Budget vs. Baller, our only responsibilities were hosting the show. Everything else, all of the different aspects of production, which don't get talked about a lot here on YouTube, were handled by other people, by the production team.
And the production team was really cool. So the director and cinematographer was Christian. The second camera guy was Tyler. Nathan was AC, assistant camera. Katie was the producer, and we picked up a local sound audio engineer and a local fixer and driver in every location we went. So there were 4 people that were very much constant fixtures on the trip, and then we had another 3 or 4 that were constantly cycling out. So it was quite the adventure. We became very tight with everyone on set as we traveled throughout these different destinations. We went to Europe first. We did Lyon, Nice, Genoa in the Italian Riviera, and then Geneva in Switzerland.
After that, we flew back to the United States. We shot an episode in LA, and we had a weekend in Los Angeles to kind of catch up with family and friends.
And we also shot the pilot in Austin, Texas, which is the second episode from North America.
Then we flew to Asia, and we shot an episode in Taiwan, in Laos, in Okinawa, Japan, and finally in Hong Kong.
Essentially, a week looked like this. 3 days of filming, on day 1, day 2, day 3 filming, travel day 1, day 2, day 3 filming next destination, rest day. So basically,
and then repeat.
Yeah, then repeat. So it was like that for about 6 weeks, which in the beginning was very manageable and actually taught me personally a lot about wellness and rest. I became very focused on doing yin yoga and meditation in my time off to kind of balance out the very yangish energy of being a TV host.
I kind of took the opposite approach to it. I just finished reading a really good book by a guy named Jocko Williams, who's kind of an ex-US Navy SEAL, and his whole philosophy was just grab life by the huevos and never like compromise on yourself. So I kind of was trying to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning and get a workout in before like a 6 a.m. call time. And that lasted for a couple of weeks, but towards the end of it, I was kind of in the same mentality of like, oh my gosh, I really need to conserve energy to finish strong and to complete this job. It was a long time for production, and constant travel, constant being in front of the camera, it can be very taxing.
Yeah, but I think it also taught some lessons, like in the sense that when you have such a large time obligation, it kind of teaches you to focus on the essential stuff for what our business is. Sometimes if you're self-employed, you can easily get distracted doing this, and especially if you're a YouTuber and you combine your own business with FOMO, where you always feel like there's something else you could be doing and there's some other place you could be. And it can be a recipe for burnout. And a lot of creators on YouTube have been dropping off from burnout, from just trying to be everywhere at all times, like always.
To be on all platforms at all times, constantly posting, constantly updating, constantly working and uploading and editing and shooting. And
it takes a toll on you.
When you do that for years at a time with no break, you are setting yourself up for burnout and for failure. So a lot of the last few months for us has been recalibrating and just trying to find equilibrium. Part of the reason we weren't publishing over the last few weeks and not publishing as much over the last few months is because we have been juggling lots of different responsibilities, and we have been very aware and cognizant of the fact that burnout is real, and we're just trying to avoid that so that we can continue creating content for all of you.
On a side note, we will be doing a premiere for Budget vs. Baller here in Los Angeles. So if you live in the area, stay tuned and follow us on Instagram for updates about the specific time and date. It should be in the late October.
That's where we're going to be making the announcement once we figure out and finalize dates for the premiere. So if you want to come watch an episode of Budget vs. Baller with us in person, then make sure you are connected with us on Instagram so you don't miss the announcement.
So on the personal front, we have had a lot of people pass away in our lives recently. Not only, like everybody, Anthony Bourdain passed away like right before we started the TV show, and he was a huge inspiration to us. Halfway through production, Riker, Alexi, and his girlfriend Mindy, our friends from the High on Life crew, also passed away in a tragic accident in British Columbia. And when we were coming home on our last day of production, we got news that our grandfather, who is super close with us, was on his deathbed. So we cut short a trip that was planned to go to the Philippines and do some vlogs, and we flew straight home to Los Angeles to be with our grandpa.
It was really, really difficult. At the end of 45 days on set, after a 14-hour flight across the Pacific from Hong Kong to LAX, we got off of the plane and went straight to our grandparents' house and spent the next week or so with our family, watching our grandfather slowly pass away. And that was not easy by any means, but I think that, you know, having that happen was natural. He was 92 years old. He lived a full life. He was surrounded by his wife, his loving wife of over 60 years, his children, his grandchildren, and I was just glad that we were able to make it back in time and, you know, to be there to support the rest of our family. But H, that's what we called him. His name was Halford. He was an amazing individual. He was an optimist, a member of the Optimist Club, and I will continually and always try to live to the standards that he set for being positive and for being cheerful, and trying to encourage everyone to live their best life. So, you know, it was kind of a shock. It was kind of a rough homecoming for sure, after a very exhausting summer. But, you know, I think that we knew that he loved us, he knew that we loved him, and it was just time. So that's that's life and that's death. And H, if you're up there watching, I love you, and you're always gonna be in here.
It's worth mentioning that like we were super close with our grandpa when I mean, not only like we grew up in San Diego and he lived here in LA, and so I went to school in LA and I was able to go visit him during finals. I come there and study, but then most importantly, when we got started with Vagabrothers and we won this contest to go 6 months around the world making videos, we came back to California and we didn't really have a place to stay. We knew we had to be in Los Angeles to be near the YouTube space and try to pitch ourselves as TV hosts. And our grandparents took us in. Our grandma Jeannie and our grandpa H took us in, and we stayed in basically our old moms and aunts and uncles' rooms, just crashing out. And it was great. It was a really symbiotic relationship because you know, we brought a little bit of youth and energy into their house. They gave us a place to stay and a lot of support
and wisdom.
And our grandpa would always come into like we turned their living room into our production studio, and we were sitting there.
This was what, like 4 years
2014,
ago, 5 years ago.
And our grandpa would walk into the living room when we were there working, and he'd always be like the same thing. He goes, "At it again! At it again!" He's always impressed by how long we were working, and he'd be like, "A&E, that's all I want to see," which is short for asses and elbows, because he grew up on a farm in Kansas, and he'd always say like that when you were working, you were like in the ground, like, you know, like planting seeds. So all you should be able to see if someone's working hard is their ass and their elbows.
He also had another great saying that we love, which is onwards and upwards, excelsior in Latin, and that is what we're gonna try to live and internalize, because life is a journey, and if you point your compass upwards and you continue to march onwards, then good things are gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's a great phrase to use when something goes bad. Like, honestly, like, you know, he passed away, and the first thing I thought was, well, you know, onwards and upwards. Like, that is, every single time something bad happens to you in life, you have to just kind of look forward and go onwards and upwards. Like, that is his philosophy. That's something that really helped us get through some difficult moments. And it's, you know, I'm very happy knowing that we had the chance to speak with him so much. You know, I've always tried to live to make him proud and make my grandmother proud, and I know that we achieved that. They were both very, very proud of us. And my grandpa's favorite movie was our film East of Eden, which in a way was kind of about the dialogue that we had, you know, with him. We had very different values and different political views, but that film was really about bridging the gap between urban and rural. And our grandfather, someone who grew up on a farm in Kansas and is a bit more traditional, I think he really appreciated that film, and he would always watch it on loop. I think that about 1,000 of the views on that video are from him alone. Also, with the passing of Riker and Alexi and Mindy, I mean, we were not super close with them, but they were definitely our peers. And when I heard the news, it really shook me to the core. And we were on set in Geneva, and we were both just started crying. And it just really makes you realize like how that really could have been. It could have easily been us. It could have been Alex going after Carrie and me going after my brother, and all of us meeting our ends. And so there's been a lot of people passing in our lives recently. It's been a reminder that life is short, and that you can't really just say we're going to do this next year, we'll do this later. Like, if something's worth doing, it's something worth doing right now.
Yeah.
And I think that what we're going to dedicate ourselves to is to really checking off some of the big goals that we have in life. And yes, a lot of that is narrative travel storytelling. So we appreciate that you guys have been so patient with us as we've been through this period, and we haven't been posting as much. We're going to do our best to make some content in the meantime, and we're going to dedicate ourselves to making really, really high quality travel cinema for you to enjoy over the next couple months.
On a positive note, moving onwards and upwards, we just want to let you all know that good things are coming, that we are dedicated to delivering the highest quality travel content on YouTube for all of you Vagabuddies out there. And we have some really cool, exciting new destinations which are coming up very, very soon. At the end of this month, we're going to be heading to Sri Lanka. We'll be shooting a large vlog series there, and we are ecstatic about it. We can't wait to go explore this island. We really think all of you out there are gonna seriously enjoy it. And afterwards, probably gonna book a ticket there. When we started this channel, I was super into documentary filmmaking expeditions, and I think that as we move forward, those types of journeys, those types of trips, we want to start incorporating back into our content. So not only are we gonna give you guys the travel tips and the city guides and the top 10s and the travel vlog series, but we wanna start planning at least once or maybe twice a year, one large expedition to a new place that's kind of off of the grid, where we're going to have to go into the backcountry and explore nature and culture and adventure and try to get back to that wild, free feeling in places that we've never been before. So if you're interested in that type of content, if you want to see us do more nature or backpacking or backcountry content, then please share your tips on the places that you think we should go, or places that you've been that you think would make great vlog series, and please let us know, because that's also on the agenda for the end of this year and 2019.
So in sum, thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching this far in the video and taking an interest on where we are personally, emotionally, and professionally. And we promise to be making great content for you in the coming months. And again, stay tuned on Instagram for updates about when we're doing the live premiere here in Los Angeles. And either way, Budget vs. Baller will be available in the fall on Tastemate's channel on YouTube TV.
So as always, stay curious, keep exploring, and we will see you on the road very soon with new, fresh content coming at you.
All right, thanks guys.
Peace.